We've been lied to for the past few years. All the people that we watch and we look up to, the Amy Porterfields, the Marie Forleos, the James Wedmores, the Gary V's, the Pat Flynn's, all of these big people, they show up everywhere until we think we have to be everywhere too. We have to be on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram Reels and Instagram posts and Facebook groups and Pinterest. No. I'm here to tell you that's a lie, and I don't want you to fall for it because there's just not a whole lot of people telling us otherwise. So I'm going to be a stand in here and get on my pedestal for a minute. But before I do that, before I get on my soapbox, if we haven't met before, my name is Caitlin. I run Launch the Damn Thing. I am a Squarespace educator, but my background is graphic design. I started a freelance business because I was broke as a joke and living paycheck to paycheck, and I needed the extra money. And now 10 years later, here we are. I've learned a lot of things and I can share a lot of things if I show up here on the interwebs. Now, back to my soapbox. What I'm here to say is that those people, those big people, they have teams to help manage that. They have teams, they have humans, they have software. But when we're first getting started, it's just us and we're wearing all the hats ourselves, we can't do that. There is physically not enough time in the day to schedule all of those posts, to maintain those profiles, to interact and engage, comments, likes, messages, whatever. It's not possible to be everywhere all at once. It's just not. Not if you also want to run your business and do the service that your business offers. So, back in, I don't know, between 2015 and 2019, I tried this method and I was in 57,000 places. I had Pinterest running 50 plus pins a week. Oh my God. And I was trying desperately to read all of that information before I actually shared it so that it was good content that was pushing out because 70/30 or 80/20 rule, 20 or 30% of it is my content, 70 to 80% is somebody else's content on Pinterest. I don't know if that's still a thing because I dropped Pinterest in 2020, but that was the rule before then. So that's what I was trying to do. I also had a Twitter account, which is now X, and then a Facebook account, a LinkedIn account, an Instagram account. And eventually I got burned out. I dumped all of that stuff and focused on just the platforms I enjoyed being on, which for me was Instagram because I enjoyed it the most. And then in 2021 or so, they introduced Reels, and I was like, oh God, now I'm gonna have to be on video. Haha. Joke's on me because now I have a YouTube channel. But anyway, when I decided to try my hand at Reels, then TikTok blew up, and I was like, well, I guess I need to be on TikTok too. It's not possible. What you end up doing is your hair. What you end up doing is you are trying to stoke all of these separate fires and build them all up into bonfires. But inevitably, what happens is this first one starts to burn out by the time you get to the third, fourth, fifth bonfire over here. And now you get this one roaring, but this one's dying. And then you're like, oh crap. And then you go over there and you build this one up, but now these two are dying. That's how it works because we're just one person. And even if you have Tailwind or Later or Planoly or Plan or whatever social media software scheduling thing, you still have to do the work. It can't source the stuff, it can't create the stuff and schedule it for you yet. I'm sure that's probably coming. But until that happens, and also, if it could, would we want to read a feed created by AI? I mean, I don't really want to do that. Do you? And with all the changes happening on YouTube with the AI, they're trying to tamp down these like solidly just AI built videos. I guess that's my point is if we could come up with the software that would create the stuff for us and manage the profiles for us, then people engage with those platforms and then realize it's all AI driven and there's not a human behind it, then they don't care anymore. So that's not the solution either. The solution is to pick one thing that you're really good at, hopefully that also crosses over with something you enjoy on a platform you like being on, and just start there. For people like me who have tens of thousands of people looking at my website all the time, I have a couple thousand YouTube subscribers, I might have 1,500 Instagram followers, I have an email list, but I focus on one thing and that is free, valuable long form content. And because it usually starts like this first, I just start talking on camera. I edit out what I don't like. I turn that transcript into a blog post and I put it on my blog. So it is one piece of content that shows up in two different places, which now also shows up in Google search and chat AI, whatever. And so now that's bringing me traffic too. So that one effort is showing up in 3 to 4 places for people to find it and then land on my website somehow or my YouTube channel or whatever. That's my strategy because I am okay with video. That wasn't always the case. I promise. I am an introvert. Video is not my thing, or at least it wasn't. I'm a lot better at it now, thankfully, but it took a lot of practice. You'll notice at the time of posting, there's like 100-ish videos on my channel. That's the practice. Every single one that I did was practice. Every single one I do, hopefully, gets better than the ones before. So pick one thing, just one. I've been doing just blog and just YouTube since 2022 or 2023. And it is so much easier to not have to focus on all the notifications that you get because anytime that I do some sort of push on social for anything, I am overwhelmed with all the notifications and the DMs and everything that happens when you are active on that platform. But when you expand that and you're active on LinkedIn and then you're active on Facebook and then you're active on Instagram and then you're active on Threads and then you're active on YouTube, that's too many things for one person. And then suddenly I would look down and I'm just answering notifications all the time. I'm checking because I'm getting dings or pings or I'm seeing the little red badge on my phone. I've got to turn that off. I've got to delete the things from my phone. I just can't. That's too much for my brain. I'm also getting a lot of emails. I have a lot of work to get done. It's a distraction. That's all I'm here to say. It's a distraction. It's a lie that they tell you because creating a business from scratch is not easy and you do have to get your name out there. And so that is one way to do it. But the problem is if that's the way that you're doing it as a solo person who also has 30 other hats to wear throughout the day or the week or the month, that's not going to be helpful for you because like I said, if you're trying to build all these 7 different bonfires with social media marketing and content planning and audience building and service providing and accounting and marketing and all these things, that's too much for one person. We can only work so many hours a day. And if you overwork yourself, you'll end up burning yourself out. And if you are the only person in your business and you burn out, your business is not functioning. If you aren't working and you don't have systems in place to support that when you need a vacation or whatever, no one's working when you're not working. So that's the problem. It's not that the advice isn't probably helpful if you have a team and lots of software to help you do it, but if it's just you and you don't have a team and maybe you don't want software or you can't afford the software because the software is not inexpensive, especially if you need different softwares to auto schedule on different platforms. Or if you're using something free like Creator Studio through the Facebook or Meta system to do both Instagram and Facebook, it doesn't also do Pinterest and TikTok and LinkedIn. So you still have to have something else to schedule those posts. If you do them internally on the platform, like LinkedIn will let you schedule posts, their system is very not intuitive. And so once you've scheduled something, tracking that down to make a change is hard. It's hard to find it. It's hard to locate it. This is not a thing that you want to be battling. So wait to expand. What I have always heard from the people who are smart and the people who I eventually listened to and believed myself was that you pick one thing to focus on and get really good at that one thing. So for me, blogging was the first thing. I always blogged since 2015 or 16, and I've moved those blog posts and rewritten them over time, but I have been blogging almost 10 years. And with that practice, I got really good at it. I mean, for a non-writer, like I said, designer background, not a writer. And when I felt comfortable enough with that, I added YouTube. It was similar enough. And because the content originates through the video now instead of the blog post, then I can turn the video content into a blog post. So it's still, for me, in my head, the same piece of content. Now, if I were to change that and add on Instagram, for example, that's entirely different because Instagram videos are much shorter than YouTube. Then I'd have to create a video version that would work on the Instagram platform in snippets. And that's not a thing. I don't have time to edit 5,000 different clips from every video. If I had a team member to do that, fine. But with it just being me, not happening. It's just not a priority for me. I would rather spend my time on other things like providing services, getting my systems in order, anything else, honestly. When the sun comes out, I would rather be outside, like anything else. So for me, Instagram is, while it's fun to be there for pleasure, I don't use it really for business anymore, and I haven't since 2022 or 2023. I can't remember when I quit using it for the most part. And if you go on my profile, you'll notice that I don't have new posts. I do new stories on occasion when I feel like it, if it's relevant, but that's it. And I don't really post stuff on my Facebook anymore either. I'm in there for Facebook groups when I have to be or when I want to be. But that's it. I don't post to Pinterest anymore. I have a LinkedIn profile and I also have a business profile on LinkedIn, two different areas. I don't do anything with those. I do have a Twitter profile. I don't X profile. I don't do anything with that. I do have a Threads profile. I don't do anything with that. It's okay. I don't really care because my focus is on the platform that I enjoy, which is YouTube and saying hi to you fine people, and my blog. That's where I like to be, and my membership, but that's a different thing. That's not really content. So pick one thing. And when you do that, you'll find that it's a lot easier to stoke one main fire and build it. Now, when you've built it and you feel comfortable, you can tack on something else. And then when you're good at managing both of those, if you want to, and if you have the capacity, you could add a third and so on. But picking one and sticking with one consistently for more than 3 to 6 months, just going to let that sink in, more than 3 to 6 months, because you need longer than that, and see how it goes. Is there a return on your investment of the time, of the equipment necessary or the software necessary to do that thing? And then keep rolling with it because only time will tell. But anyway, so that's what I wanted to say. I'm just tired of hearing everybody say, I think I'm going to start being on social media. And I'm like, well, have you run this business on social media before now? And they're like, no, but I feel like I should. No, that's not a thing. Do not do that. Feeling like you should is bending to the pressure from other people, and those people don't run your business. You run your business. So you have to decide. Does it feel good to you? Do you want to do this? Because if that's the case, fine, try it. But if you're like, I feel like I should because everybody else is, no. They don't run your business. They don't know what your admin workload is. They don't know what earns you money in your business. They don't know what costs you money in your business. They don't know any of those things. They don't make decisions for your business. Do not let the pressure sink you into making a decision that you don't want to make. That was my soapbox. That was my thing for today. I feel like maybe I've said this before in a past video, but not quite so succinctly. So I just felt like it needed to be said maybe again, because like I said, there aren't a lot of people that are out there saying the truth, at least the truth for people like us who are just one-person businesses. I don't have a team. I don't want to manage that stuff myself. I don't love being on those other platforms, and so I just don't. And that's okay. If that's you too, please leave a comment below and let me know. If you have been battling being on a lot of different places, this is your permission to just stop doing what you don't like to do. Also, please let me know in the comments. I would love to hear that I am right and also not alone. And yeah, that's all I have for you in this video. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.